That's where we're headed today, Leesburg. We got 10 miles to go. Yikes, Forest Road 061 isn't looking so good. I'm headed to Jurano placer diggings, which is an old mine operation, and this is the road to get to it. Safe to say, it's no longer accessible. A huge wildfire swept through here some 10 years ago, and it's all gone now. These roads are no-go. Tucked deep into woods, I ran into this little workshop area. Not really sure, but there's nothing around, and the mine we're going to right now is still 1 mile up, way up in these woods. Got the barrel stove, so that's how they stayed warm. Would have put wood in there, stay nice and warm. There's 2 barrel stoves here. You could see the piping that would have gone out. Same with this one up above. And it's just this tiny building that's still remaining. Look, that's where the barrel stove would have gone. What the heck was this? Like a tiny survival shack or something. So I don't know why this would be out here. It's kind of interesting. If this was in Northern California, I ran into certain grow operations that look a lot like this. But this is Idaho, so who knows? There's a workbench and a bunch of corrugated metal, all like they were planning on making something. It's like a white sulfur type substance inside of this box. It has this chicken wire on the top, on the bottom. That's pretty bizarre. Our first objective is Durango placer diggings, which is a small gold mine tucked away in the Salmon, Idaho mountain range. This was a really small operation. It only lasted about a decade, so we have this cabin and a bunkhouse next to it that's all fallen down now. Look how neat that looks. The wood looks fresh. That's what puts me off as so odd, is look at that wood. So it's not a cabin. There's all this shelving. I don't know what this would have been. And then, it's like a planter box. That's really odd. So this is the bunkhouse. And then we have the pantry, which is all fallen down now. Oh yeah, that's long gone. All those boulders blocking the way, but it was just a tiny pantry. I could see the wall. They would have had a nice porch at this bunkhouse. And then going in, it's just a bunch of bunk beds, probably a cooking section. They really just didn't leave anything. It's a huge bunkhouse though. The roof's still up. This section's kind of standing. Old bed frame. Shelving along the whole wall. The last thing that's still here, you had the outhouse. Inside of the bunkhouse, looks like it was used for storage afterward. Got the whole gate right there and a couple pallets. Oh, no way. There's still an entrance. That door's still here. It's not going to open. And it's all fallen down inside. So this is it for the operation. The bunkhouse, the mine adit, which I've seen them that close before, so it's not too out of the ordinary. And then whatever the heck that building was supposed to be. There's vents on top too where that opens up to vent the whole thing. Don't even think of parking here. City Ordinance 0022. This whole mountain is burnt up from wildfires. It's crazy to see. On my way to Leesburg, taking Forest Road 061, and I look over, and there's an abandoned house. Let's go explore. It was probably a vacation cabin, but now it's just where cows live. Look how nasty that is. Interestingly, it had a couple entrances, and there's nothing in it. It's all just been removed. I still wanted to check it out real quick, just on our way. Now this is interesting. What is this about? Just two sheds with like a cell phone signal on it. Check it out, we finally made it. So this is Leesburg. Now the mines that used to be here got replaced by the active open pit. But this was all the town. There's so many buildings here too. One after another, we're gonna check them all out. What I wasn't expecting is this information plaque. But it shows some old school photos such as when the town was active. What I wasn't expecting was two towns. There was actually another called Grantsville. And there's that whole separation at that spot. And we have all this. Oh, no way. There's a cemetery too. We'll have to check out the cemetery. All of the stores and businesses, whatever, the town. Oh, no way. This is some of the places we've been. So Leesburg is where we're at right now. I've done Deadwood. I've done it. I've been there once. I want to go back. Haley. Yeah, I've been through Haley. Yeah, Bayhorse, Stephen and Andrea and I did it. And then Bonanza, been there. Clayton, that's an interesting town, not quite a ghost town yet. Banner's another one I've been to. Never been to Placerville. I've been meaning to do that, maybe eventually. But I still am making my way out towards Boise. I do want to go here maybe next year. 2026, let's go, let's explore all of that. And then the price for sugar, butter. I say we go have a look around this town. There's just so many places to explore. All of these buildings. We're actually going to begin in Grantsville at this cabin. This cabin was built by Ira Gable in 1903. Oh, it's super muddy. But check it out. It is wrecked. There's the old couch. In the remote mountains of central Idaho lies Leesburg, a massive mining camp that sprang to life during the gold rush of 1866. What began as a cluster of tents quickly grew into one of Idaho's largest boomtowns, with thousands of miners chasing dreams of wealth. At its peak, Leesburg had saloons, stores, homes, and the sounds of stamp mills echoing through the canyon. But like many mining camps, the gold eventually ran out and people moved on. By the early 1900s, the town was already fading, leaving behind weathered cabins, mining equipment, and scattered grave markers. Today, what remains of Leesburg is the old houses. Walking amongst the ruins, it's easy to imagine the noise, the energy, and the hope that once filled these mountains. Now only the wind and the forest keep watch over what's left of Idaho's golden past. Another residence. This old cabin was built in the 1890s. To think 1890s this was built. That is insane. These two cabins are it for Grantsville. Now we're headed to Leesburg to see the rest. This building was also built in the 1890s, and it was the tax assessor's office. Yeah, it looks like an office, the way it's designed. Crazy that this town was so huge. They had their own tax office, though. And the flooring, they made it out of stone, like a cement, and then shoved a stone in it. But this was the tax man's office. Pretty cool. Just a shelf. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking around. It is raining right now, but that's all right. Right beside the tax office is the schoolhouse. Oh, that is some low ceilings. Okay, this must have been a classroom. I wonder what this would have been. It's kind of interesting. Oh yeah, electricity. Isn't that crazy? Electricity way out here. All the old newspapers. And then the final room of the schoolhouse. That's crazy. Then there's this extension of a room. I'm pretty sure this place is sinking into the ground because look how low that freaking window is. And then the roof is super low too. Basically, those two buildings we looked at, the schoolhouse and tax office, are in the best of condition. But next is the post office. Looking into the post office, I mean, they're about the same size today for these small towns, right? They're not very big. Now, I wonder why there is also a Grantsville, what made that divide. But I wonder if it's two towns and they just kept growing next to each other. There's also a bunch of lines of buildings here that are all gone, unfortunately. This was the butcher's shop, not much left of it now, just the real faint remains. The next building we're coming up to is Chinese Laundry in the early 1890s. This was his little laundromat, per se. Wow, look at the whole bush growing into it. And then the stage office, just right next to the laundry. They did some work to try to stop it from falling down. I always like to look along these ruins just in case there's stuff left, you know, old relics. The town is so far gone, but it is going to be like that. It's over 100 years old. Most of these buildings are in the 1800s. Now we're coming up to Chinese Mercantile, so a general store owned by Fong Qi. Same person as who owned the laundry, well, relative of that person. And it's in pretty good condition. So you had Chinese Laundry owned by Bu Qi in the early 1890s, and then the stage office run by Motley Cowell in the 1910s, followed by a stable built in the 1870s and later remodeled into a saloon. And it would have been right about here. That's it for that side. Now we're crossing over to the other side of this main road. It was basically just a giant strip where there's a big road coming through, and everyone lived along this road. Even some residents over here, but this was basically the city line. Looking back at the rest of the town, it is raining right now. It's always iffy this time of season. But I'm trying to find the cemetery. According to the map, it's out here, but nothing's really going to remain of it. I mean, we could be on it right now, and I wouldn't even know it. This was an old creek with a bridge coming across. Maybe this was the cemetery. Yeah, look. So all these are stacked on both sides. And then the graves would have been all in here. This is an old log barn and hayloft which was built before 1908. by Alice McConey. The flowers growing in here look neat. This tiny building was a chicken loft, going up to the chicken house built in 1908. And look at the difference where you still have ceiling, no plants are growing, but anywhere where there's just slight sunlight coming through, all these plants are thriving. Either a shed or an outhouse. I think that was an outhouse. Now this next one is another butcher shop. Butcher shop built before 1890 and later used as a workshop by Bonanza Placer Incorporated. What's fascinating is since this place is essentially becoming a swampland, the earth has made this floor go up and displaced it. Crazy to see how green everything is. It's just all alive. Would have been the front entrance to the butcher shop. These remnants are of the boarding house. It was built prior to 1880 and run by Alice Mahoney. Almost touching the boarding house is the Leesburg Hotel. So it was a decent sized building. Not a hotel anymore. One last look. Another building run by Alice Mahoney, built sometime in the 1890s. It was a laundry, so a direct competitor with Chinese laundry right over that way. Last building, it was the old laundry. So this was the town. What an awesome explorer, and one of those places where it's nice to come out and see it. Oh yeah, we can't, that's all swampland, we gotta walk around. But it's super overcast today, and it's just been like that all day. Tiny amounts of sunlight, but the rest is just rain. Soon that rain's gonna come to snow, and no more exploring Leesburg for this year.